And I am here today with two people, Michael Baker and Catherine Hatcher, who respectively produced and directed Sid and Marge Have a Problem, a comedy coming to this year's Louisiana Film Prize contest. Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So I wanted to start off. Give me a little backstory about yourselves. Who are you? How did you come into the Film Prize family? And we'll go from there. We'll talk about the film and all that.
Michael, you want to go first?
I can go first if you'll allow me. So hi, I'm Michael. I'm not Catherine. We came into the Film Prize because Catherine was a veteran. She had two films entered last year. One made the top 20. And I found her and her husband, cinematographer Chuck, to produce a couple of shorts that I was interested in. And she says, "Oh, these are great for the Film Prize. You have to send them to the Film Prize." So I said, "Okay, what's a Film Prize?" And we did it. We made the film. It was a lot of fun. And lo and behold, we're in the top 20. So very excited to get our little movie off the ground.
That's awesome. How about you, Catherine?
Well, I've been in and around the filmmaking industry for 30 years. I know I started when I was 12. And 2 years ago, I executive produced a film that made the top 20. And then last year, I thought, wow, I'd like to try my hand at directing. And my very first film that I ever directed was selected as the top 20 film. And I thought, you know what, let's go again and see what we can do. So I did meet Michael Baker. He had two scripts that I absolutely loved. I filmed one of them for myself and then helped him by directing his other film, Sid and Marge Have a Problem, and had a blast working with he and the cast. So I'm excited that Michael is in the top 20.
Absolutely. And so you guys came together. Could you kind of tell me the moment that you guys picked the script and how it came to be?
Michael, I'll take this one for a second. Michael was looking for someone to film another script, and he sent it to my husband, and we read it, we loved it, so we asked to meet with him, and I said, you know, I'd really like to film this one, and if you'll let me do this one. I also learned that he had 3 other scripts. I said, let me read those, and if you'll let me film this one, I would love to help you by directing, and Chuck would also then film whichever script he wanted. And after reading the 3 other scripts he had, I thought, you know what, Sid and Marge is going to be a great one for the Film Prize. And so we met at Central Market for the first time, and we've been talking ever since.
That's awesome. Michael, what's your version of the story?
My version of the story is I was in a cafe in Paris, and I was bombarded by people who saw me from my debut at Cannes. And they said, "What else do you have?" And I said, "Sorry, I only work with directors named Catherine," and all my fans went away. "Oh, no, wait, no, that didn't happen. That's next year's script. Sorry." We can edit that out in post, right, Chris?
Oh, well, I wish we could.
No, basically, that was the exact same story. I had been writing shorts to be used in acting workshops that I enjoyed, and the one she filmed, the First We Dance, was a very touching one. You know, not really a tragedy, but certainly not a comedy. And then I wrote a comedy, and I wrote a knockdown drag out between 2 people, which we may film for next year's Film Prize. And we said, let's do this. And this was my first foray into my own filmmaking. As an actor, I've been on set and have been in other people's projects, but you get the bug, so to speak, and you want to do your own projects and take your vision and take it from beginning to completion and see what happens. So yeah, we met at Central Market. We were impressed. We were excited. She showed me some of her work, and I said, let's do it. And the reason we picked Sid and Marge, or I picked Sid and Marge to do, as opposed to the other scripts, was I felt it would be the easiest one to do from a logistical standpoint. One set, a few actors, one location. Hopefully we can get it all done in one day and keep the budget under $40,000.
That's awesome. well, $40,000, $50,000. So tell us a little bit about Sid and Marge as a story. Explain kind of where we meet our characters, and maybe give us a little taste of what might be in store.
Okay, now taste.
Don't give too much away, Michael.
I know, right? I know. And taste is kind of a funny word to use in this situation too. So we meet Sid and Marge in their bedroom. It's late at night, about 2 in the morning. The lights are out. Poor Sid can't sleep. You see him putting down the phone, and he says, "Margie, wake up. I got a problem." And Sid and Marge are two wonderful 68 to 70-year-old people. They've been married for about 52 years, and they're at the point where they know what each other's thinking, and it's the quintessential old people. Old people are funny, aren't they? I mean, I got 2 words to say about that. Betty White. We couldn't get Betty White to film it. She was busy doing other projects. So we got the wonderful Lou Williford, and Brad Pitt wasn't interested at all. He says, "I'm too young for the part," so I did Sid. Couldn't find anybody else. I'm sorry. What could you? I mean, look at me.
Yeah, I thought it was a again, without trying to give too much away, it is such a funny, film that kind of, it certainly plays on those tropes of the older citizens kind of going back and forth, and she knows when he's full of it, and he's trying not to give things away, and he knows when he's writing his case, and but you guys have some really great exchanges in there, and it makes sense. Again, like you said, it's a single location. It takes place in this, shooting it probably was fairly easy. You guys want to talk a little bit about how you went about shooting it, who was involved, where did you shoot it, and that sort of thing?
Well, Chuck is a wonderful cinematographer, and to date, he has shot all of my projects. And what I like about Chuck is, besides the fact that he's got a great eye for framing and for the art of cinematography, he's fast. He's really fast. And being a husband and wife team has its challenges. There was one shot that I wanted, and he's like, "No, we don't need it," or "No, we don't have time." And I put my foot down, and I said, "I got to have that shot." And it turns out to be one of the funniest shots in the entire film.
Yes,
and you know what shot I'm talking about, right, Michael?
Oh, yes.
And so it's filming it was, you could say it was easy because it was one location, but at the same time, with comedy, there's timing. There's the right amount of inflection, and when to push forward and when to hold back. And and with comedy also, there's editing, and you've got to get an editor who understands comedic timing, because you want those moments to be fast, but you want them to land. And so that's always the challenge, is getting the actors to a certain point and being funny, but serious. You don't want it to look like it's a cartoon by any stretch of the imagination, but you want that timing. And so we had a great mix of the actors and the crew that we had, and very small crew. And I don't remember the woman's home that we used. Do you, Michael? I'm sure you do.
Linda.
Okay, so we shot in about 12 hours or so, and it was just a lot of fun. We had a great time doing it.
Yeah,
really did.
Well, and that I had no idea it was a single day shoot. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was, and in fact, I think when you can do it in a single day, you minimize the costs, and you minimize the hardship on the person who's offering the location, and you get in, you shoot it, you get out. Like I said, if Chuck wasn't as fast as he is, some people are fast, but they don't have an attention to detail, which he's not that guy. He's fast. He understands detail, And it helps to have someone who understands that kind of speed yet professionalism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can jump in on that if you want, because that was evident from the beginning. It was so wonderful. Comedy is different. You can't play to comedy because then it looks like a cartoon or it looks slapstick. The whole situation has to be so serious that it's really happening, and the comedy is just in the interactions. And the framing of the shots. One of the things I insisted on when going out to trying to film my scripts was I've seen so many student projects and I've seen so many semi-professional projects that look like they were shot with a Sony Handycam, and sound is bad. And I said, we have to have this professional look on the camera. We have to have a wonderful sound. Everything had to be professional, even though it was a 10-minute short. And I think we really achieved that. The comedy part of it is not in the comedy. We don't play it for laughs. The laughs are in the situations. The laughs are in the character reactions to this very real situation.
And also in the dialogue.
Well, the dialogue. The dialogue is very funny.
Which is important, when you bring up sound, especially when you have a film that's so heavily based on dialogue. There's not a lot of action, but depending on your definition of action, it's all taking, all about the dialogue and all about the interactions. And if you don't have that sound, that's there really, not being obtrusive at all. And of course, Chuck's, cinematography, it feels very naturalistic. I wish you were here to be able to tell us about it, but maybe you guys can give us some insights on how you guys treated the lighting scenario there, because it looks very much like it was available light in the piece.
Fooled you.
Yeah, Chuck didn't use a lot of lights. However, we did have lights. He's very good at the art of using available light. In this case, we had 2 main lights, and that was it, and, he has a very good eye for, I don't even think we used any available light, actually. And we had people on dimmers, and we had people on switches, and there was, at one point, there's a delay for when you flip the switch for the nightstand lights, the lamps on the nightstands, and there's a delay, so you have the light come on, and then the real light comes on, and then, so, we had to edit in such a way and have the actors hold the shot in such a way that when we do edit into it, it looks like they just flipped a light on, but really there were 2 lights going on at the with a second delay, and of course that wouldn't work. So we have to think about that, and it's just moving. I'm pretty sure we only had the 2 soft lights that we used, and I'm not very technical about which lights they were, but yeah, he's very good at lighting.
And we'll put a wonderful plug in right now for Jeremy Spring. He was our lighting technician, electrician, fabulous to work with. Definitely, Jeremy, you're back on the next project, so keep those dates open when I call you.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about the post-production process. We just got a little glimpse in there when you were talking about editing for a technical issue. What was it, and we talked a little bit about kind of the comedic timing. Who was on your post-production team? How long did you guys have in post before the rough cut deadline? And what have you been doing since the turn-in?
We found a wonderful editor, Raul Torresi. He's Italian. He spent, 20 years in Italian cinema, has a list of credits a mile long, and also a fabulous eye and a fabulous ear for timing. So it was a treat to work with him. I know Cathrine spent a lot of time with him at his studio. I've spent a lot of time with him in his studio. And, you always hear at the Academy Awards, they say the editor makes the film, right? The editor makes the film. And in this case, we both agreed that, yeah, the editing was really the key to this, to get the reaction shots just right. And you couldn't linger a half a second too long on one of these, because then it turns into slapstick. So we had to, cut it back. We were looking at half and quarter-second increments in this. Not a lot of sound cues. There's a few in there that we hope are very funny placed, and mostly dialogue again. So we had to have a lot of clean shots. We had to have a lot of overlap shots as we were shooting it, and piece it all together so it sounds natural and it just flows. But yeah, we spent a lot of time in the post-production. Would you estimate, 4 times the hours? If we did a 12-hour shoot, do you think we did 48 hours in post?
Well, when I select an editor, usually, and really, Michael found Raul, but when I work with him, I realize, and I've met Raul at various networking events, and he and Chuck know each other pretty well. And when I get with an editor, I don't micromanage as a director. I like to see what they bring to the table first. So usually I go through the selects and decide, which shots I know I want. And then I hand them the script with the selects. And then I say, let me see what you got. Let's assemble it. And then I sit down with them after an assembly cut has been done and go, okay, let's do this. Let's fine tune that. We had numerous fine tunings, not a lot, because Raul was very good, had a very good eye. And then when we sat down to really speed it up a little bit, there's one point where I guess you could say it's the punchline that I go, okay, I need a couple of little quick reaction shots. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I want, And it was so awesome to pull those together, to one right after the other. And then Raul found the music. We didn't need a composer. He was very good at understanding the comedy. We spent a few hours, but not as many hours as I have on some other projects where maybe the editors have maybe not understood what we were looking for. It was very good.
That's wonderful. And so as we sort of move from, a completed picture, which has been turned in, you guys were the first ones to turn in your project, right? Now we're headed towards the festival. We're 2 weeks out. At this point, 2 weeks from now, films will be rolling. The first films will already be screening. What are you guys excited about the most? Cathrine, I know that you're returning, and then of course, Michael, I'd love your perspective as well.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Well, I am so excited to, I've watched it on my phone, and I've watched the rough cuts, on a little YouTube channel on the iPad, and I've seen it on the laptop. I'm so excited to see this thing, in a cinema-sized screen. I'm sure I'm going to have surgery on my jaw after smiling so much. I'm just, it's just such a thrill to see that for the first time, to see something that was invented between my wife and myself stepping out of the shower one morning. I think we started the whole script idea with just a couple of improv lines, and she giggled, and I said, well, let's see how far we can take this goofy idea. And that process of writing it and adjusting it and tweaking, as the screenwriter, right, every word in that script was thought about and tweaked and adjusted, and every line was put together with care. And if we had another few hours, I can tell you, okay, this one was an homage to Shakespeare in this one line, and this one was a Jackie Gleason. I took one line right out of one of my dad's favorite things he used to like to say when we were kids growing up. So that's the biggest excitement, is to see this little project finally, arrived where it should be shown. I'm thrilled to have the parties. We have a wonderful ambassador, Valerie, who's our liaison in Shreveport, and she's doing a lot of the groundwork, putting up posters. We have goodies to give out at the booth when we're at the rave. We're having a party planned at the Noble Savage. Please come on out. We're having a scavenger hunt.
What are the dates
on the project is? We still don't know what the problem is, and that's part of the secret and the comedy. So part of the scavenger hunt is to get people around Shreveport to see if they can figure out what the problem might be.
Absolutely. And before I jump off, what is the not jump off, but move to Cathrine? When is the party exactly? Do you have dates and what times and whatnot?
Friday night is the party. I believe 6 or 6:30 at the Noble Savage. Cathrine agreed to buy the first round for everybody. Oh,
wait, what?
Tell you. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about that. Oh, the production company is Dial-It Back Films gets the first round, and Viva. We're gonna have Viva beer. Damn fine beer.
Friday
beer.
That's Friday.
Right, Friday 30, and then Cathrine and I are going to run out to do the tent interview. That's what time was that? 7:45, 8:45.
I'd have to look at the schedule myself, actually.
And then we come back to the party, and hang out all day Saturday.
That's awesome. What about you, Cathrine, as a returning filmmaker?
There's a lot less pressure on this one for me because I didn't produce it, and direct. It was lovely being the director and not having to worry about which crew people were to show up and, and securing locations and all of that sort of thing. So I'm really going to enjoy this experience as being a director and really helping Michael plug the film as much as I can, get as many votes as we can. I'm really, I think this is my 3rd time here to the film prize, and it's going to be an enjoyable experience. I know what to expect now, and so I'm going to have fun just talking to all the people that are there and plugging Michael.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, is there anything else that you guys want to add before we sign off? Any anecdotes that we missed or thank yous that you don't want to forget to say, or what?
I want to thank the Film Prize. I think this is a fabulous opportunity for filmmakers, first-time filmmakers, returning filmmakers, to show their work, and it is a great way to strive to be better every year. The other film that I directed and produced wasn't selected. That's fine. Without the Film Prize, I might not have ever put it on tape. I might not have ever gotten it in the can, as they say. So I think it's a great motivator for filmmakers to stretch and grow and, okay, what can I do next year? What can I do better? What can I do more of? And I just want to thank the Louisiana Film Prize and Gregory and you, Chris, for all that you do to make this thing happen. I know it's not easy, and I know there's a lot of moving parts, and so I wanted to thank you personally.
Appreciate that. I'll definitely pass it on to Gregory and the team.
Thank you.
Yeah, me and, I have to thank the Film Prize too, and the incentive to get it done and get it done professionally wouldn't be there if there wasn't a finite goal to get this done. And me, everything I do, I'm goal driven, and I like to look for, quote, the finish line, whether it's a music recital, a software release, or a film. You have to get it done. And by having a Film Prize out there, a carrot, it's a good incentive to get it done, but not only get it done professionally and get it done right. So I'm very grateful to Cathrine and Chuck for everything they brought to it. Chris, man, you shepherded me through so many things. I hope my emails weren't annoying. And of course, I have to thank my wife, Becky. I hope you're listening and watching. Do I look good? I comb my hair. You told me to comb my hair, so I comb my hair. And really, without that support, at home, this never would have happened. She and I improv the first couple of scenes together, and putting it down and having the courage to say, no, that's really stupid, don't put that in the script. That was her contribution. And to be able to have that at that level. We've been married 32 years, so woohoo.
Congratulations.
There you go. Looking for another 20 then, I suppose.
Another 20 or so. And then we can be Sid and Marge. So
there you go. Exactly. Well, thanks so much for taking the time with us this morning, guys. I'm so excited to see how the audience reacts to everything. And like you, Michael, I want to see all the films up on the big screen. And hopefully people are voting for Sid and Marge, right?
Yay, yes.
So I'll close up with a reminder that the Sid and Marge party is Friday the 30th of September. That's the first night that the films are showing. Check out the Facebook page for the times and everything, I suppose. Sid and Marge Have a Problem is a Facebook page, and we'll be putting those parties up on the website as well next week. And for those of you who don't know, the Louisiana Film Prize is 2 weeks away now, starting Thursday, September 29th with an opening party and the music prize, as well as showing all the films on Friday the 30th starting at 10 a.m. All day through the last screening starts at 10 p.m. And then we have all screenings on Saturday as well, starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 9 p.m. It's going to be so wonderful. Tickets are on sale now, lafilmprize.com. Check out the music prize as well at lamusicprize.com. Cathrine, Michael, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we can't wait to see what you guys pull off at the fest.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.